And now we found ourselves in April. So, just to recap, January, my first ever sponsorship situation was high stakes, behind the scenes, coordinated with Greedy Gotti. You know what I'm saying? It was a success. Then we had Orion in February of 2022, which was a success. Then we had another space card in March called Idols to Rivals 2, which was also a success. So April was coming up. And for those of y'all that don't know, April is my month. My birthday's in April. I'm an Aries. I rep my shit like a set. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to do something special for my birthday. And in order for y'all to understand why this happened, I gotta take you back to before I started sponsoring around 2021, I believe. Um, I went out to Cali with a friend of mine at the time who also loved battle rap like I love battle rap. And it was my first event. And I pulled up to that event. I went to the face off of the event, then I pulled up to the main event itself. Um, it was Geechee Gotti versus A Ward 2. Had the time of my life. You know what I'm saying? Um, Pulled up and so like I told you, I had started getting money, you know what I'm saying? And uh, when you start getting money, you start showing off, you know what I'm saying? So I remember going to the face off, which was at Avocado's house, and I pulled up to the face-offs for Geechee versus Ward 2. That card was called Monopoly, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I pulled up to Avocado's crib, where the face-offs were had. I pulled up in a Maybach, right? I had rented a Maybach, and nobody was outside. Nobody outside. It was like was it a Maybach? It was either a Maybach or like a really high end Benz. I can't remember, but it was something like that. You know what I mean? Pulled up, nobody was outside. Nobody saw the fire whip. Went inside. Um, Salute the champagne. Champagne was very hospitable. That's the homie. She showed wild love. We don't keep in touch as much as we used to, but she really showed wild love for me attending my first event. Made sure everything was smooth, very hospitable. Salute to her. But with that said, we pulled up to the face offs. Nobody was outside, so nobody saw the flashy car. I pulled up in with my people, um, with my homegirl at the time, and went into the face offs. Got to see the face offs. It was in Avocado's crib at the time, I believe, and it was dope to be around all that. Just see the energy. Pardon me. See the energy and just it was fun. I seen Trez there, Snake and Henny Man had their face off. I didn't bother the battlers because even just being in the room for that, I just wanted to, you know what I mean, act like a fly on the wall. But basically most of the face offs were had, got to witness that. Dipped out, you know what I'm saying? Went back to the telly, kicked it with my homegirl. Then the next day the event was the next day, and I went to pick up another one of my homegirls because I had lived in Cali before, so I wanted her to come experience a battle rap event as well. So I pulled up with two of my homegirls to the event. I had purchased VIP tickets, um, and the event was in the middle of Compton. And I stopped off at a liquor store in the middle of Compton. It was like up the street from the event, and I had paid the Uber extra, so I had the Uber SUV. Once you pay the Uber SUV extra, you could take them anywhere. You can make a bunch of stops. It doesn't matter. Like they'll take care of you. So, and over tipping is a lifestyle. So I made sure to over tip him. So it was good money. We could go anywhere. But uh, he looked at me crazy when I said I want to stop at this liquor store in the middle of Compton. Look, man, I'm not a street dude, but like I've been in street environments and I got a lot of family from the hood. So a hood is a hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a liquor store, there's people there. Like you just as long as you don't move like a weirdo, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And so even though it was Compton, I wasn't tripping. I just said, yo, pull over by the liquor store. I'm gonna go get, you know what I mean, some liquor. So I bought a gang of little bottles of Henny, mad bottles. I had a bunch of Henny bottles in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? And then I bought some tequila, cups. I was just like, yo, I'm finna have a good time. Like, this is my first battle rap event. I don't know what kind of liquor they got in there. I'm finna bring my own, make sure it's lit, you know what I'm saying? Um, and so I was hyped, you know what I mean? So I pulled up hella Henny, hella tequila, hella cups, all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we showed up a little bit late, so the event had already started, you know? So when we go into the event, it was crazy. It was by the airport. So it was like people having exotic dogs in the back. It was the merch table for EFB merch. Um, and I bought a hoodie, by the way, fire hoodie. I'm mad. I know it's somewhere in one of the old spots that I used to live in. I gotta go find that hoodie. Such a fire hoodie. But it was merch, EFB merch, the dogs, uh, uh, just all kind of stuff going on, all kind of people in the building, and the security was Geechee homies, free Geechee Gotti, you know what I'm saying? The security was Geechee homies, you know what I'm saying? But there was a ton of people in the building. I got to meet so many dope battlers. I met Trufo, I met Geechee, I met Danny, I met Foet Dev, I met Real Name Brandon, I met A Ward. Like I met a ton of everybody that was on that card I met. I met Tone Bro there, you know what I'm saying? So I got to meet a lot of dope people that day, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a family reunion with people that weren't really your family. It was just such a dope vibe, you know what I'm saying? We kicked the whole day, like the whole day. One a couple takeaways that I had, a funny story. So I'm sipping Henny, right? Me and Danny sipping. You know, like I sipped Henny with everybody in the building, you know what I'm saying? And every time I would see Geechee, I would be like, "Yo, Geechee, I got Henny for you." You know what I'm saying? "What's up?" You know what I mean? And he was looking at me like, "Yo, who is this big 6'2", 260 nigga just giving Henny to everybody?" You know what I'm saying? And just, you know what I mean? And like, even Champagne came up to me and she was like, "Oh, I thought you might not be comfortable. Like, I didn't know how I was gonna go. You been around, but you moving around like you good." Like, I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Anywhere I go, I'm good." Like, it was love. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you even if you out of town, if you don't move like a weirdo, it's love. But if you do weird shit, you know what I mean? So, but I was with the people. It was love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to everybody, chopping up everybody. Yo, what's up? Cracking jokes with everybody. It's love. You know what I'm saying? Um, and every time I would see Geechee, I'd be like, yo, I got that Henny for you. Come on, Geechee. I got you, Geechee, got it. We gotta sip some Henny. You know what I'm saying? Um, no decorum, no, you know what I mean? No couth, you know what I'm saying? I was out of line. I was out of line. And he kept telling me every time I see him, he was like, "Yo, bro, I'm working. I can't drink." I'm like, "Oh, okay, my bad, my bad. You professional, my bad." But then I'd see him again, I'm like, "Yo, you done? What's up?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, I gotta run this event." And he started getting to know. I know he ain't say it, but you can see it on his face, like, "Yo, nigga, I'm working. Stop offering me liquor, man." It was mad funny, mad funny. Yo, hold on, my dude, crazy right now. Hold on. What's going on right now? Okay, much better. Throwing me off. So he was, I was like, okay, my bad. Finally, I left him alone, right? So I drank with, yo, I had seen Foe at Dev in a battle with, I think it was Trufo. I want to say Trufo, right? I seen him in a battle with Trufo, and he that almost fought. And Dev is a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I met him, I didn't know what type of time he was gonna be on. So when I dapped him up, I like pulled him close to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I like held his hand and like went like I just wanted him to know, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like, you might be bullying these other niggas. You're not bullying me. You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'2", 260. You not just, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean, he was so cool, he was such a dope dude, like, great sense of humor, and most of the gangsters is like that. Real gangsters got a sense of humor. They're not walking around mean mugging and all that, doing the most. They mad funny. Real gangsters always have a great sense of humor, you know what I'm saying? I met Active, yo, me and Active was cracking jokes all day. Like, he was so funny, and, like, it's crazy because you have this impression in your mind of people, then when you meet them, it's like, this is a cool individual. Like, this is a good person. But the elements is there though. The gangsters was around. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so, oh, I met Sharon. Sharon is tall as hell in real life. Trez is such a chill individual. I met Trez. Um, so when I got there, everybody just kept telling me, "Yo, you missed a crazy battle." I'm like, "What battle I missed?" Like, yo, Hansel. Everybody kept talking to me about Hansel. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, okay, okay. I'm gonna tap in." I missed the battle, but the whole building was talking about Hansel, right? Um, I got to meet Dre Vicious, I got to meet Real Name Brandon, I got to meet, Danny. Just these names that I'm telling you right now is for a reason, right? So I kicked it with these people all day. The event was like 10 hours. By the time when I ran into A Ward, Pete. So when I ran into A Ward, I was like, yo, we in Compton. It's nothing but gangsters around. So I'm wondering in my head, like, is he comfortable? Like, is he good? I started talking to A Ward. A Ward was chopping it up, kicking it, chilling, popping, talking to the gangsters, talking to the regular niggas. Like he was good money. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew I was like, oh, okay, Ward, like you had to have been around the hood in some type of way because you hella comfortable, hella comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I knew in my head I was just like, oh, okay, okay, this is okay. The Ward is a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a gangster, but like this is somebody who could be around gangsters and be straight, like no problem. You know what I'm saying? So those are the kinds of things I check for. Like, what kind of person are you in real life? Like, I don't care about the internet. You could type whatever you want to type, but who are you when like we in a room? You know what I'm saying? Like when we in the room with the gangsters and all that, what kind of person are you in real life? And Ward was solid. You know what I'm saying? Chopped it up, cracked jokes. He was comfortable. So that just made me gain so much respect from him right there. Like, okay, you are you anywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I respected that. For me, it was just like Ward is official in my mind. So kicked it with Danny, like I said, kicked it with mad people. We drank, we was cracking jokes. So this nigga forward dead. We was running out of Henny. This man took the Henny and he asked me if I had a chaser, and I didn't have a chaser. I was like, yo, we running out of Henny, but I got tequila. This man took the tequila and mixed the Henny, used the tequila as the chaser. And in my head, I was just like, yo, I'm not fighting this nigga. If shit get out of line, I'm shooting. Like I'm shooting. I'm not fighting. What kind of nigga chase Henny with tequila? Like what? Yo, it's a different breed. And you brolic and all that? Nah, this man, you need to get put down if there's a problem. We're not wrestling. We're not fighting, nothing. But that's the story for another day. And I didn't have that on me, but I had my, you know what I mean? If anywhere I go, if I don't got a pistol on me, sure I got a knife, fam. You know what I'm saying? Get out of line, I'm cutting your ass up. Neither here nor there. Um, so but Dev was so cool. Real name Brandon was mad funny, yo. But real name Brandon was like Kingpin. If you watch Marvel, he reminded me of Kingpin. He was mad funny, but like his presence lets you know that like it could go there. You know what I'm saying? But he's mad funny, and he got the Kingpin laugh too. The I found out way, way later that the real name Brandon and Truffaut were cousins. I didn't know, but at the time they was in a building, you would have never known that these two was cousins. You know what I'm saying? Met a lot of the Crip homies. You know what I'm saying? They was so cool, funny as hell, laid back, chill. Um, I found out later on that Bandit Montana was in the building. I didn't even know that, but like years later, me and Bandit actually end up kicking it in person when we went to Champion and stuff. But anyway, so pardon me, we in the building having a great time, great event. Great battles, great energy. You know what I'm saying? My homegirls is having a great time. I walked one of my homegirls out so she could go home, put her in another Uber SUV, let her go home. Then I stayed there with my homegirl that I had initially flew out to LA with. Um, so we had the time of our lives, man. Time of our lives. So much fun. By the time we got back to the hotel, feet was killing us. We was hungry as hell. Yo, the type of hunger you have after an event is like carnivorous. It's ravenous. You understand? It's like a deep hunger because we ate the food like animals. We was at a nice hotel too, but we was in there like I'm sure the waiter was like, "Yo, do y'all get out much? Like, like what's this?" You know what I'm saying? So great time in LA. By the end of the night, Geechee come up to me and he like, "Yo, what's up?" You know what I mean? We was doing interviews outside, so we was politicking that, just kicking it outside, regular, degular. The event's over, so we all just kicking it outside. You know what I'm saying? Um, Geechee come up to me, he's like, "Yo, what's up? Yo, you the Henny, man. Everybody saying you got the Henny. You know what I'm saying? What's up?" Yeah, I looked at Geechee and said, "Yo, my man, I tried to, you know what I'm saying? I tried to give you the Henny multiple times this evening. I got no more." And by that time, we was lit. You know what I'm saying? He just looked at me like, "Word, like, you ain't even save me a Henny, bro. Like, what type of nigga is you?" You know what I'm saying? But it's so funny. You know what I'm saying? That memory just stays with me forever because it's like, damn. I should have saved one of the bottles because I have mad bottles of Henny, you know what I'm saying? Um, so I bought merch, kicked it with the people after the event. It was just love, you know what I'm saying? Really good energy. We was all laughing. All the battlers was doing their interviews and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My homegirl was interviewing everybody. It was love. It was love. It was love. Great time at the event. So fast forward, I become a sponsor. Fast forward, it's my birthday, April 2022. So I tell Greedy Gotti, I'm like, look, I got a concept um for the next card that we do. So he's like, "Oh yeah." So we did the Kai versus J2 headliner for the March card, and it went well. So he had a little faith in what I was about to suggest. I said, "Look, bro, I made a lot of dope connections and relationships with these EFB dudes, you know what I'm saying? I think I could get them, you know what I'm saying? I could get them on a card, you know what I'm saying?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah?" He's like, "Well, I got a relationship with Geechee," you know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Oh, word? Well, holla at Geechee, see if he can help us put that play together, EFM versus EFB, you know what I'm saying? That'd be fire." He's like, "Yeah, that would be fire." So boom, he get on the line with Geechee. Mind you, Geechee really don't know it's mechanic paint. You know what I'm saying? Like he had chopped it up with Geechee a few times, obviously, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he remembered, oh, that dude that I drank Henny with at the event. Like he all the other dudes remember me, but Geechee, like I said, I briefly spoke to him, you know what I'm saying? But he knew of me, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Now that I had started sponsoring or whatever. And so Greedy and Geechee talk, and Geechee's like, "Yo, if I'm gonna get my squad on here, they not just finna pull up and battle for money on the floor." Mind you, was already putting 500 on the floor for each battle already off the rip. You know what I mean? Because I thought that would, let them know we was serious. Like, yo, 500 on the floor per battle. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so as I recall, no, it was 250. I had 250 on the floor for every battle. I think that's what it was. Right? Yeah, that's what my suggestion was. I'm gonna put 250 on the floor for every battle. You know what I'm saying? So you walk away with 250, you rap 1 round on the phone, 2 minutes 30, you got $250. You know what I'm saying? That's this eh, who's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like it's good money. So Geechee come back with a proposal to Greedy. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna let the whole crew pull up to your joint, but each of them gotta get paid and then they'll come and rap to pick up the money on the floor. So they gotta get a deposit." He's like, "My whole crew gotta get a deposit." So I'm like, "Oh, nah, this is this just turned into like a crazy expensive car. I gotta pay people 250 just to write their rounds and then another 250 on the floor for the this is crazy, right?" But Greedy was like, "Yo, that's the only way they're down to do it." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Man," I looked at all my guys, my Twitter space guys. I looked at all the niggas that I had met at the event. In the back of my mind, I was like, "Yo, come on, son. I just drank Henny with you, nigga. You can't just pull up and rap." But I was like, "You know what? It is what it is." I said, "Tell Geechee, cool, we could do that, but he's gonna have to accept increment payments." Like, because I wasn't balling like that. You know what I mean? You gotta understand each of these events, I'm just throwing away bread. You know what I'm saying? Like whole checks at a time. The January event, high stakes was 1,400. The February event, Orion was 2,000, and the Idols Turn Rivals was $2,720. This is just money just going out. It's not like it's ever coming back. I'm not spending it to make money. So I'm like, yo, tell him he can have his bread, but I'm finna send it in increments, but let's get it. He just said, no doubt. No doubt. Just make sure the money right. I said, okay. So I'm talking about, I said, look, every paycheck I get, I'm finna be eating ramen noodles. I'm finna be eating like, yo, I'm finna anywhere I could cut corners, maybe delay a phone bill here and there, set up a payment arrangement, do whatever I gotta do to get this increment to him. You know what I'm saying? Any type of bill that I could postpone just so I could finesse, get these deposits out so we could get the flyer out. I'm gonna do it. So boom. I start, $50 here, $20 here, $100 here. I'm just sending the deposit, you know what I'm saying? So the whole card costed me the whole card cost me $3,900. April, my birthday month. I'm dishing out $3,900, giving it away. There's never coming back. I'm dishing it out, you know what I'm saying, so that my spaces guys can have this opportunity and so I could also put some money in the pockets of the dudes that I drank anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like salute to them niggas too. So the people that I had met at the event was real name Brandon, Danny Myers, um, I had met Dre Vicious, you know what I'm saying? So these were some of the guys that ended up on the card. And we originally had it. This was the original lineup of the card. It was Danny Myers versus Appa, B Magic versus Kai, Av versus Dice, real name Brandon versus Rada God, Dre Vicious versus Phenomenal, and then JR versus Soto, right? We ended up having to change Av versus Dice to Dice versus JC last minute. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to JC for stepping in. Um, so it was basically EFB versus EFM. You know what I'm saying? And bro, when I tell you I had hella nights of eating ramen noodles throughout, like Pardon me. Not just at night. In the morning, lunch, I was having ramen noodles around the clock just to save every dime that I could to make this bat space bat event happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their bread. They pulled up, got the event done. It was a major success. And I ain't gonna lie, Danny Myers versus Appa was the headliner. I had to holler at Bum because when I told Greedy about that matchup, Greedy was like, "Yo, Bum has always wanted to see that." So I had hollered at Bum, or he hollered at Bum. One of us hollered at Bum. I can't remember, but we got Bum's blessing to book the battle. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Bum because he could have been like, "Nah, fuck y'all niggas. Y'all niggas left me out of the plans. Fuck you." He didn't. He was like, "Yeah, y'all do that. That's great for Appa." So we did that event. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of the EFB guys won, some of the EFM guys won. I didn't really care who won the overall event. I just cared that people acknowledge the whole point, the whole purpose of why I was sponsoring these spaces battles was to show that some of these guys are just as good, if not better, than the talent that was out rapping outside. You know what I'm saying? So some of my guys proved that. Some of my guys won. You know what I'm saying? Like they did their thing. They did their thing. I was so proud of Appa, so proud of Kai, so proud of well, Dice lost. Like I said, Dice never won a spaces battle that I sponsored, but I was proud of him nonetheless. I was proud of Rod of God. Um, the funniest thing happened. In my head, I was just like, Rod of God about to cook real name Brandon. I called real name Brandon. This was the first time I ever did this. I called real name Brandon and I had like a relationship from the event, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of fell off with my relationship with real name Brandon, man. My bad, bro. Like life just got crazy. That's on me. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been nothing but A1 with me, and I just kind of I mean, my bad, real name Brandon. It's my public apology, man. You a good dude. But real name Brandon, this is my first time ever instigating a battler, right? I call real name Brandon and and I called him before the event and I was like, yo, bro, Rod of God is about to cook you, nigga. He's about to cook you. You about to lose. You about to lose to spaces, nigga. I'm talking crazy to real name Brandon. He's like, oh, word? Okay. Just be there when the battle happened. He said, I'm gonna write right before the battle too. I'm like, yo, you about to get cooked. Rod of God is like that. Yo, the battle happens. Real name Brandon not only got his deposit money, he also won the money on the floor. Son he didn't even call me. He he tweeted me and he was like, "Yo, appreciate the new shoes, Frank White." And it was like these Jordans or something like that. Something crazy. And I was happy for him. You know what I mean? But that's what I get for talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Real name Brandon showed me. Danny Myers has a round. I'm gonna clip it up. And once I find about I'm gonna clip it up and y'all could check the shorts. But Danny Myers round for Appa is so crazy. Go check out Danny Myers versus Appa. That battle's incredible. Kai beat B Magic, JC beat Dice, real name Brandon beat Rod of God. And then Phenomenal, I think Phenomenal beat Jay Vicious or Jay Vicious, I can't remember. But it was and Soto beat JR, which was crazy. Um, but it was my birthday, but it was my birthday present to the space battlers. It was my birthday present to the battlers that I had actually met in real life, you know what I'm saying? And Geechee pulled up and hosted the event. Free Geechee Gotti, man. He's so solid. Shouted me out and everything. People didn't even know he was talking about, but you know what I mean? Certain people that knew, of course, that had met me at the event knew who I was and stuff like that, and he did too. And I cherish that because Geechee is so authentic, man. He's just such a dope individual. And he didn't have to do this event. You know what I'm saying? He could have just said, "Yo, my guys are above that. Like, we got no reason to be in spaces rapping." It wasn't as dope as it is now. It was kind of frowned upon, to be honest. But Geechee just understood what I was trying to do and just supported it. You know what I'm saying? So that always stayed with me because it's like, yeah, I ain't get you your henny, but I got your people's paid, and you came and supported the brand that I was trying to build. So I appreciate Geechee Gotti for that forever. And that's not the first time he's looked out for me like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that in the future, but so EFB versus EFM was such a special thing for me because I got to bring the guys that I had met in real life to battle in the spaces, and I got to support my spaces guys in their battle. And I just felt like it solidified me as like somebody who could plan an event, who could plan matchups, and like I got my respect. You know what I'm saying? So now my input was more than just Mr. Moneyman, just put the money down. You know what I'm saying? So that was big for me. That was major. Like that was a good moment, a good card, and it was around my birthday, you know what I'm saying? So, I was lit, man, I was lit. I was so happy with the way everything went, and it's crazy because That was the last time Greedy Gotti and I ever worked together. Greedy ended up having a situation in the spaces. I'm sure y'all know about it by now, but things went left for Greedy. Greedy was the man with the plan. Bum was the man that introduced me to space, Twitter Spaces battle rap, but Greedy was the man with the plan. Like he was executing, you know what I'm saying? And when he went down for we he went down for, it was just like it's over. Like we're done. This is it. You know what I mean? EFM is over. Like we out of here. And I got a phone call because after this EFM event, I was like, I'm about to do my own event. And I had this whole idea where I was just like, yo, uh, I start like the Marvel concept of like Civil War is gonna be called Civil War. Then I was like, you know what? There was already a URL Civil War thing. I didn't want to copy that. And I like the idea of naming space cards after famous movies. So I was like, "Oh, I'm about to do a card called Independence Day." You know what I mean? Because I was stepping out to do things on my own, but I got a phone call. I never forget. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should save that for the next episode. Yeah, I'm gonna save it for the next episode. But basically, Greedy Gotti, it just all went to shit. EFM was over. And, then I got that phone call. I'm not gonna say who it is because I think this person doesn't want me to make it public, but I had stepped away and I was like, "Okay, I'm done with this." I sponsored 4 space events. It's done. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And there was a big gap between April and June when my next event was, because I thought I was done. You know what I'm saying? I was preparing to take my girl on vacation, the woman that I was dating at the time. I was preparing to take her on vacation. I was about to buy her Louis bag. Like, I was really done. I thought, okay, that's it. That's my little, time period with the space battlers. And this person called me and they're like, listen, this greedy Gotti thing is over with, but these spaces guys still need opportunities. And I don't want this greedy Gotti thing to be the reason that these guys never get another opportunity. You kind of been working with greedy. You understand what you need to do. You put cards together. It's time for you to step to the forefront and help these guys get where they're trying to get. And that was what was said to me. And that phone call made me say, "Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna take on that responsibility and come to the forefront and do my own Twitter Space events and make myself a public figure and build relationships with people in the culture, so I could continue to make opportunities for the Twitter Space guys." That's that phone call. You know what I'm saying? The person who was on that call knows who they are, and when they watch this, they'll be like, "Ah, I remember it," but I'm not gonna put no names out there. But if that person didn't call me, I was riding off into the sunset with the shorty I was dating at the time. She was gonna get her Louis bag, was gonna go on vacation. But as soon as that phone call came through, I looked at her and I was like, "Yeah, we gotta put all that on hold because I gotta finish this commitment." And she was furious. But that's a story for another day. EFM versus EFB, one of my favorite cards ever. I hope y'all enjoyed this. We the fans is for the culture. This is the sponsor's journey. We're gonna go step by step, man. I'm gonna take y'all on the journey so y'all can learn the behind the scenes of being a sponsor and everything that went into this We the Fans brand. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.